Good day, folks. In this one, we're going to be refining our controller for our robot. So we're going to be using something called the blend tree. It's sort of an interesting lesson. It's something I had never done before. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to select. We should be in our animations folder, and then let's just have our robot selected. Now let's go ahead to Window, Animation, and then Animator. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of resize some windows here. I can actually close this animation window. Okay, so if we scroll in here, we see these are the animations that we had created. Now we could do some code that says, like, if you press up, do this. If you press right, do that. If you press down, do this. You know, like call these different animations. We instead are going to do use what's called a blend tree. And we're going to have this blend tree be queued to sort of the x and y coordinates of our creation. So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and we're going to create a blend tree. So the way that we do this is we're going to just go ahead and right-click somewhere. Actually, let's get rid of these. Let's click and drag and just do a right-click and say delete. And we're going to just do a right-click, say create state, and say from new blend tree. And that will then be set as our default state. Okay. Let's go ahead and double-click on it. Okay. And you see here where it says blend tree Movex. Okay. We're going to click on this. And now we should see this. That was a little bit confusing. So just make sure you follow along with that. We double-click and then click once. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing. Alrighty, so we're going to first of all specify the blend type is going to be 2D simple directional. Basically, we're going to accept two parameters, or like two different types of kind of information from for the controller. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and set it so that, like, if we have a horizontal movement of 0 and a vertical movement of -1, it's going to pick robot down. If it's going to be horizontal 0, vertical +1, it would be robot up. And you kind of get the sort of the idea from there. So we're going to create two parameters. Okay, so let's go ahead and where it says layers, let's click on parameters. And darn it, let me just delete my one thing that you saw here. This is going to actually be where it says Movex. Yours is going to say just, I think, blend. Okay. So anyway, so now we have the same sort of setup. So I just did a sort of a double click on here, and we're going to change the word blend, the parameter blend. We're going to change this to Movex. Then we're going to click on this plus button, and we're going to add another float. We're going to just call this move Y. Okay. So now we're going to have two parameters that the blend tree is going to basically keep track of. So now when we come over here where it says parameters, where it says Movex, that's fine. We're going to say here where it says the second Movex, let's click here and set that to move Y. Now this will basically be something where, depending on what information is being sent to this, it's going to select the correct animation. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to populate the motions. So let's go to say where it says add motion field. We're going to click this 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we get this really interesting setup here. And we're going to be playing with this, but for now we're going to set these motions up so that they are basically going to be set to different directions. Okay, so let's first of all, where it says motion 1, let's set this to robo left. The second motion we're going to set to robo right. The third we'll set to robo up. And then finally we'll have here robo down. Okay. So now we were saying before -1, +1, all that kind of stuff. What exactly does that mean? So with position X for robo left, we're going to say here it's going to be if you detect -0.5, 0.5. There we go. Robo right is going to be if you detect 0.5, and we can put a 0 there, I guess, for more precision. And then let's see here where it says robo up, that X should be set to 0. and then the y is going to be 0.5, and then robo down, it should be set to 0 for the x, and then the y should be a negative 0.5. And now we've kind of got cardinal directions set up. So this will basically be, and I don't know, man, this just looks cool. These squiggly lines, I just think that's kind of neat. Anyways, we have these toggles here that if we see here, if I move it, like if we say move X, and you can kind of see like how it's triggering the different animations. See like that? And we can also, then at the bottom, if we click here as far as this plus sign, we go ahead here, and if I click and drag on this red dot, and I can kind of zoom in here a little bit too. This kind of gives us an interesting preview of what animations will play. And if you don't have it, that's okay. I had to click and drag I think it was the prefab into this, so that's okay. The main thing is you have this part set up. So you should have here these bubbles as you move should correspond, should basically grow as you move them. And again, robo left, right, up, and down, 0, negative 0.5, positive 0.5. 0.5, negative 0.5, okay? So this is a good place to leave off. We're going to go ahead and create the code that's going to basically pass these parameters to the animation controller on demand. Wish you the best of luck, folks. Good stuff.